Hi, everyone, and welcome to Walking Through Wilson. I'm your host, Becky Andrews. Wilson County recently became certified as an age-friendly community in the AARP network, demonstrating our local commitment to improve livability for the senior population. Here to talk about what that is and why it's important is Susan Shaw. Susan, you are the project administrator for the Wilson County Mayor. Thank you for joining us
Thank
today.
you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about why this is important that Wilson County is becoming it has been certified now as an age-friendly community.
Sure. Well, the population, the demographic in the older population is growing really rapidly. Right now, there are 35,000 people over 60 in Wilson County, and in the next 6 years, by 2030, that's anticipated to grow to 45,000 people. So an extra 10,000 people in the next 6 years. And I think even more interesting probably is that by 2030, 1 in 5 people in the United States will be over 60. And that is going to be a larger segment of the population than people under 18. And that'll be the first time in US history.
Wow, that's incredible. And
Mhm.
so why it's obviously important, but why is it important for us to that we've been named an age-friendly community? And what does that do for the aging community?
Sure. An age-friendly community is really one that's livable for people of all ages, and specifically understanding that it's livable for people that are over age 55 to 60, in that senior demographic area. Because people change, obviously, people that are in their teens and 20s and 30s have different needs and interests, but we want to make sure that people in the senior population can contribute to the economic growth and be happy and healthy as they go into their later years. So by being an age-friendly community, we pay attention to that. We put a specific emphasis on making sure that it is that
And
livable.
this is making sure things like transportation are available,
Mhm.
more accessible to people that are aging that may not drive as much. That's one of the things that it's doing as well. I know one interesting statistic you gave me about Wilson County is right now, over 20% of Wilson County adults are over age 55.
Right. Hmm.
That's amazing.
It is.
I'm
And
not quite in that demographic yet. I'm getting
good
up
for
there.
you. Yay.
I'm almost there. I'm almost there, but I'm not quite there yet.
But the neat thing is that whoever, when people get to that
Yeah.
point, 55, 60, that they still are happy, healthy, they're
Mhm.
productive, they feel like they are doing something for the community and that they're getting something out of it and that they're staying connected with the community. That's so important. And I think we see that a lot in Wilson County.
Mhm.
And recently, we've seen that there's so much growth in the county as
Mhm.
there is in most counties. And a lot of that is coming from the senior population. And really, when I kind of started to look into that, we found that it's a couple of different things. One, the baby boomers,
Mhm.
people are just aging into from
Mhm.
55 to 60 to 65. And so
Yeah.
that is putting them into another category. When you're suddenly you've got to get Medicare, it's like
Mhm.
another stage of life and it's another category. So people are just aging into it, but also people are moving here. And one, they find things that they like and feel that are enjoyable to
Right.
their life in Wilson County.
Mhm.
And also, it might be that they're coming to take care of a loved one, that an
Mhm.
older person is coming, grandparents are taking care of grandchildren
And
a
we're
lot
seeing more of
also.
that multi-generational living that's coming back too, where
Mhm,
grandparents are moving in with their children and just to have that
mhm.
that support there.
Yeah, and that's part of the demographic.
Yeah. So tell me what are there's stages to this, right?
Mhm.
For the age-friendly community, there's certain stages and you guys are taking care of you're in the first stage of that, right? That you just got.
Well, it's interesting when we started to look at this. AARP has what they call the age-friendly community
Mhm.
model, and we're following that. And that's where we had to provide a letter of support. We had to do a county resolution, fill out an application, submit that, and then they did approve and certified Wilson County for that. And by the way, Wilson County is just one of 2 counties in the state.
Wow.
And I think there are 15 communities totally. It could be a city or a community or a
Mhm.
county. Um, but w- there are 8 domains within that model. So a domain is transportation. Another domain would be housing.
Mhm.
Another domain would be social inclusion.
Mhm.
It may be places to go, places to live. So
Mhm.
the first thing that we did was we gathered a group of people. We partnered with a few different organizations, Jimmy Floyd and Age Well and GNRC, among others. And we sort of brainstormed and said, in those 8 domains, what does Wilson County currently have? And it was interesting because we came up with something in many things in every domain.
Right.
And if I could refer to my notes on
Absolutely.
that, because I
Absolutely.
think it's interesting in terms of housing. A couple of examples would be the Del Webb
Mm-hmm.
community and Hearthside
Yes.
Senior Living. Um, in outdoor spaces and buildings, it might be the Jimmy Floyd Center, Charlie Daniels Park, the greenways that we
Right.
have, or Don Fox. In transportation, we're somewhat unique that we have Wilson Rides, which is the senior ride service,
Mhm.
a very affordable service driven by volunteers.
Right.
And then you also have the
Mid-Cumberland.
Mid-Cumberland Human Resource Agency. And communication and information, that was an interesting category. And, we explored that a lot. And it's really looking at how do people of an older age
Mhm.
communicate and how do they receive
And
information?
how do you reach
Both.
them too?
How do you reach
Yeah.
them? How do you
Right.
reach them and how do they access information?
Mhm.
Maybe they can't go everywhere. If you're 80, it's different than if you're 60,
Right.
usually also. So, but there are several things. Aging Matters. We had a seminar that was
Mhm.
from the county that we did a few years ago. That was a series. The Fight Fessenden House has lunch and learns, and a lot
Mhm.
of people go to that. And then a third is Story Time with Wilson Rides, again
Mhm.
from Wilson Rides. And we explored that together,
Mhm.
specifically looking at the age-friendly community and that particular segment. And Wilson Rides, Galen did a survey of people at senior centers and
Right.
different places to learn, how do they like to get their information? How do
Mhm.
they, what type of technology do they use or not?
Mhm.
And ended up doing this project called Story Time with Wilson Rides, which was interviewing seniors. So it's for seniors and about seniors, both,
Mhm.
interviewing them about their lives,
Mhm.
putting it into a podcast, and eventually it's going to be made into a play.
Oh, nice.
So,
That is so
yeah,
cool.
it
I
was
love
very
that.
engaging too.
So have they completed that? Or are they getting ready to start
The
that?
first two seasons of the podcast are completed and available anywhere that you find your podcasts.
And what is it? Is it
Story
called?
Time with Wilson Rides.
Oh, that is so neat. I'll
Yeah.
have to look that up.
Yeah, I
That
didn't
is
know
so
I was doing
interesting.
PR for them, but
And
I'm always happy to do that.
you are the project administrator for this, so that makes
That's
sense.
right.
So you guys,
So,
there's 8 different
domains, they call it.
domains, and you guys realized you have something in all of those.
Hmm.
And I guess the goal is to build on all of these, correct? Like,
Yes.
okay,
Uh-huh.
because I know we have a new 55 and over community that's going to be starting soon in Lebanon, so that'll go into
Yes.
the housing portion. Where does the senior sitters, so social participation, that fits in? That's
Yeah.
that domain.
Yep,
Okay.
social participation. Health services and community supports, Centerwell, I think they just came here a year or two
Yes.
ago,
Yes.
and that is specifically for seniors. It's healthcare for seniors. So that's something that was probably really needed and a great
Mhm.
addition to the community too.
What made you think to do this? Because obviously it's something you're thinking ahead because we need this.
Yes.
So what made you decide to do this?
This is Mayor Hutto.
This is Mayor Hutto.
Yes, and really, I love that question because
Yeah.
honestly, it's something that he thinks about. And, the reason that he put me in this role is he
Mhm.
said when ideas occur to him or come in from other people,
Yeah.
and it's not something that's paid with taxpayer money, it's not for schools or jails or
Right.
safety and law enforcement, WEMA. How do you approach those? How do you
Mhm.
get those things done? So he understood for the last several years that
Mhm.
the community is aging, that there are people that are older. They come in and talk to him and say, how can I make myself useful? What
Yeah.
can I do? What can I volunteer somewhere? And thus Volunteer Network was
Mhm.
grown. Also something that it was
Right.
an idea of his, but he's always been cognizant of the need for resources and the quality of life
Mhm.
for people in the senior
Community.
population.
Yeah. And it is important, the social aspect of that too. The social isolation, I think, is the worst thing and it's having
Mhm.
these programs available that help the most.
Mhm.
What from here, what do you do now? Like
Well, the
after.
next step is we felt really good when we did this kind of analysis ourselves, a gap
Mhm.
analysis,
Mhm.
so to speak, and call it, and find that there are a lot of things in place. But the next thing is to step back and really do an in-depth community needs assessment.
Okay.
And AARP has surveys, and so we get to, we'll utilize that and customize it. But we're going to do a more broad community assessment and, make sure we understand from all parts of the community what they think they need or what they think is missing.
Is there anything that people can do to get involved with this, or I mean, how do they find out more about what the
Yeah.
age-friendly community?
Well, they can certainly call the Mayor Hutto's office
Mhm.
and ask for us, and any of us in office, the
Okay.
executive assistants and myself, can point them in the right direction. But we have an advisory council, and we don't mind having more people, for the advisory council.
Okay.
And of course, we want people to get involved by saying, we'll take the survey. And we need people to recommend help get
How
the
to
survey out.
how to get that survey
Yes.
out. So they can call your office if there's
Sure.
somebody that could be a touch point for you to know who to get this survey out to.
Yes.
And you want people that are taking the survey that are going to be in that 55 and over age category, or do you want them 60 and over?
55 and over is what
Okay.
we're looking for. Yeah,
Okay.
and Sarah Davenport works on this project as well.
Okay.
So, it'd be best to probably ask for Sarah Davenport or myself.
And that's at the Wilson County
Yes.
Mayor's office.
Yes.
And what is that phone number?
It's 615-444-1383.
Okay, perfect. Well, this sounds like a great program, but I want to know a little bit more about the next steps and what that
Mhm.
means for the community. Does it require any funding, grants, that kind of thing?
It may, and one of the benefits of being certified as an age-friendly community is that AARP has grant programs that are tailored for that. But something that brings up something else I wanted to mention, because coincidentally, as we got started on this as an official project to be certified, the state of Tennessee came out with their 2024 to 2026 health plan.
Mhm.
And in the health plan, one of their goals is to increase the number of age-friendly communities.
Oh, wow.
So we are just in lockstep with
Mhm.
that, and I think that that's probably, that's really good for us to be able to do that. But what we want to do is look for what additional projects that are meaningful can we partner with
Mhm.
and help get started.
Mhm.
Also, what don't we know about that we can help publicize that's available to
Right.
seniors? So it's not just all doing projects, but it's definitely involving people to say what is going on, or where is help needed, and how can help be provided.
And reaching them too.
Mhm.
Because we all know we're all aging. Like we were just talking
Yeah,
about
we hope
glasses,
so.
the need of glasses. I mean, my prescription gets like stronger and stronger every time I go to the eye doctor. So making these programs available is just doing nothing but helping our community and especially the people that are aging up like
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, and we all want to feel good about ourselves, for our entire
Absolutely.
life. So
Yes,
that's
yes.
that's really the goal.
Okay. Well, and if anybody wants to reach out one more time, they can call the Wilson County Mayor's office and speak to you or Sarah.
Or Sarah Davenport, and the
Okay.
number is 615-444-1383.
Well, thank you so much for coming out and telling us about this. I'm always interested to see. It sounds like you guys did all your homework, and we can say officially now that Wilson County is an age-friendly community.
Yes,
All
we're
right.
excited about it. So thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. It's always a joy to talk to you.